Welcome back, everyone, to Pod of Thrones. I'm Jeff.
I'm Jennifer.
A couple orders of business before we begin Lovecraft Country. Not that we should be delaying our Lovecraft Country episode 6 anymore, because we're already running way off schedule. But
hey, I have an idea.
Yes?
We should do, since this is called Pod of Thrones, we should do one, tidbit of of Game of Thrones related stuff just at the very beginning, and then we'll go on with the other stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so sorry I interrupted. Go.
No, I think that's a great idea. Do you have any Game of Thrones related tidbits?
Sophie Turner had a baby girl.
That's where this came from.
I didn't confirm that she had a baby girl, but I know she's either having a baby girl or she's already had a baby girl. She's pretty pregnant in the pictures that I see, but I haven't seen any, I just didn't have time to go dive deep.
I hope they name the baby Arya or...
that'd be so cool.
Or Lady or something.
If we could have children, I would totally do that.
Don't cry for us, Argentina. We have plenty of children already. Just the two of us together cannot have children. Well, if you want Game of Thrones tidbits, I will say that there was a headline this week that House of the Dragon, the prequel series, is on track for 2022.
Sweet. We only have 2 years away.
Yeah.
It's not 20. It's only 24 months.
Yeah, only. Right.
It's probably the end of 2020. Well, we're at the end of 2020, so could be less than 24 months. Could be.
Yep. Good news, everybody. So maybe if there is a Comic-Con next year.
There won't be.
And there might be.
Not in July, no.
Look, if medical experts are correct, then there's a decent chance that this quarantine COVID-19 shit will all be over in March or April of next year.
Okay, well, so say that does happen. They're still going to have crowd control, and as it is, it's almost impossible to get in.
Look, all I'm saying is
tickets.
If there's a Comic-Con next year, we would probably be able to see a preview. Because stuff is filming now. They're testing people every day. They're keeping everybody, sort of socially distanced when they're not on set. That would be awesome. Keeping crews minimal. So
super excited. As we were talking about this, I have my Game of Thrones little notebook that I got from when we went to their panel in 2018.
It was our first Comic-Con. I believe we got a swag bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be great to have another swag bag someday?
But of course. Yeah. They didn't give us very many swag bags last year. Swag bag.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot. At least not for the panels we went to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. But they also didn't have anything Game of Thrones. Well, yes, they did. It was that post-Game of Thrones panel where the creators, D&D, Benioff and Weiss, they backed out because they couldn't take the heat.
Right.
There was no swag bag for that one.
But who was there? I don't remember.
Well, there was a bunch of cast members. Yeah, but not the big guns.
I wish I could go back in time and look through all my pictures of what had happened, and I try to do that, but I have so many pictures that I just lose interest by the time I
think about that sometimes. You'll see memes. I saw this one the other day. It was a whole crowd of people probably at a parade or something. There was a barrier up in front of them. And it's 40 people in the picture, all of their cell phone cameras out, pointing all in the same direction. And then one little old lady who's just looking. And, and the all looking in the same direction as the cameras. And the caption on the meme was this lady is the only person here actually living in the moment. Which there's something to say for that. We're all concerned about capturing our memories, but photography's been around for a really long time. I think it's just so easy now. It comes on your little phone, which is your life. Yeah. You used to have to this would be a good picture. Everybody stop. We're going to set up for it. We're going to take a picture. But now, you can just whip it out, have camera ready in an instant. Act natural. and we wind up over documenting maybe. Because I see that too. So many pictures. I want to keep them all. The world's going to blow up, and all of our digital pictures are going to be gone. Of course, we'll be gone too. So I don't. Someday we'll count on alien races to dig up our flash drives and sort through our dog and cat pictures. Yeah. Back on track. Okay, Sorry. Game of Thrones. Let's see what else. Oh, a couple other notes. First of all, Sarge, musical genius that he is.
Mm-hmm.
I got to plug him real quick. He just put out what he's calling an EP.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I that just means extended play, right? I mean, it's like four or five tracks of music.
It could be electronic play.
I don't think so.
Because like you do e-signature, email.
I feel like it's an old term from like the record days.
It could. That's where it's going.
It's longer than a single, but it's not as long as a full album. You know, so he put out 4 or 5 tracks of music. It's available on Bandcamp under the name Remedial M-Theory. So go check it out. It's electronic music, very different from what you hear in our theme songs. But I was listening to it the other day during lunch, like I was eating McDonald's spicy chicken nuggets.
God.
That's a topic for another day. I was eating some chicken nuggets in my car, just taking a break from work. And I lost time.
What?
It's the best way I could describe it. Like I was enjoying his music and I just finished eating.
So it's like a drug?
I think it was a little bit like a drug. And it's not like EDM.
Maybe it was the spicy chicken nuggets.
It's not like EDM. It's not dance music. It's supposed to be something that makes you feel good and happy. Like he's just trying to put out some good vibes.
Does he have any of that SML stuff in it?
What?
Or SYML? What is it? the
ASMR? No, he's not eating chicken nuggets into the microphone. Although Sarge, if you're listening.
Together you two could.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's do a partnership. You make music and I will eat spicy chicken nuggets into a microphone. I think we have just
That'd be a good,
this is our most genius idea yet.
You would hear like this like crunch and then the chew into the meat part.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It'd be a good.
Maybe I can get like the dipping into the sauce. It'll make like a sloshy sound. Like and Sarge will come up with appropriate music because he is a musical genius. I mean, if anyone can do it, it's him.
Yes. For sure.
So.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Back on track again.
I'll put a link to it in the show notes.
Oh, what was it called again?
You know what? I can't remember the name of the album right now.
No, I mean where we could find it, or
on bandcamp.com. But since you mentioned it,
what do they look for?
Remedial M-Theory.
Remedial M-Theory.
Remedial M-Theory.
Does that mean something?
I don't know. We'll have to ask him. Let's see. The album is called Thoughts Ungone.
Intriguing.
I didn't ask him if we could like play 30 seconds of a song.
Can we?
I don't know.
Sarge, if we can play 30 seconds of your song, would you please insert it here?
I will. I will ask him if he says okay. I will put a snippet of a track at the end of this podcast. How about that? If he says okay, and if not,
that would be wonderful.
I respect that anyway. But go check it out. It's nice music. It'll make you feel good.
I will. I need that.
Oh,
we all need that.
So now getting over to Lovecraft country, I feel really bad about our last episode.
Because it sounded bad?
It sounded bad, and that was mostly me. You sounded great. I was holding the microphone very poorly. We were handheld microphones.
I know you were. I'm like, I was like pointing at you, and you just didn't get it.
I was the one giving the advice of make sure you hold it under your mouth so you're not popping your peas.
And I did that.
Because we're just sitting in our living room because there's no air conditioning.
Still broken, by the way.
Still broken, yes. But back in our bedroom because it's not as beastly hot today. And I was like, yeah, just hold the microphone like this. And then I held it completely wrong.
You were holding it to your throat.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Maybe it's the multitask. I was looking at notes and holding the microphone. Something like that. I fucked up. But besides that, as I'm correcting the sound for the episode, what made me feel really, really bad was the organization. This was our first Lovecraft Country episode where we had like an A story and a B story and a C story. And normally I like to take all those and consolidate them because
do them separately.
Like here's the Montrose story and here's, the Ruby story. We do that for all of the Witcher episodes, for instance. And this one we just went through chronologically and I just felt like it was disjointed. I would have wanted to re-record it, but who had time?
I mean, you really didn't have to mention all that. We just try something new. It didn't work out.
Well, and then I thought, well, I'll fix that for this one. But this one's completely sequential again. I think next episode, maybe not so much.
It looks exciting.
So if next episode has multiple different storylines.
So we used to not watch the previews of the next episode when we were always on Game of Thrones.
Right, we didn't want to know anything about
Right. We wanted to be completely surprised.
I've given up on that.
Yeah.
Old.
Well, now I can't.
I'm old now. I could die anytime.
Oh, yeah. Then you would never know what happens, but you'll get like a little teaser.
As I die, I can extrapolate what I'm sure the real ending is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking this is yes. Speaking of Lovecraft Country and dying,
and seeing the future,
extrapolating
your
See, it all comes together. Episode 6, Meet Me in Daegu.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I saw that title, I'm like, you don't hear that phrase very often. It just makes me think of Meet Me in St. Louis, the old musical, which I had seen somewhere. It wasn't you. You're not into Judy Garland movies, but someone I dated once definitely was. So I've seen that movie. I don't remember a lot about it, except Judy Garland and that song, Meet Me in St. Louis. That's all I remember. Okay, so this is going to tell the story of Ji-Ah, who we know because she popped out of a wardrobe once.
Right.
And Tick has called her a couple times.
Right. And she said, I told you not to do that.
Are you home? Yeah, I told you not to go home. I think that was episode 1.
Mm-hmm. She should have stayed. He should have stayed with the...
Mm-hmm. And now we finally get to find out what it's all about. But we don't really... at the end of the last episode, it was this whole thing where he's deciphering the language of Adam. Those pages. Mm-hmm. And all we see are the words like suffer and the word die. Mm-hmm. That's all we get. And then...
You're going to suffer and die.
And then he calls her again. She's like, I told you so, dumbass.
Right. Well, all right.
Still doesn't mean anything.
It means everything. What are you talking about? Well, it means he's going to suffer and die.
Just because you read the word die on a page. I read the word die on a page all the time. I read lots of news. It doesn't mean anything.
He was deciphering the word of Adam, from which he has loins of blood.
Loins of blood. The loins of blood run strong through this region.
It means everything means something.
Speaking of loins, this episode. Okay, let's get started. We have a young Korean girl watching Meet Me in St. Louis in the movie theater. She's really into it.
I love her.
She's so wide-eyed and full of hope.
Adorable and
cute. Right. She's the only one in the theater after this other couple leaves to go make out somewhere.
Right.
And we get this whole, I guess, imagined, but still like a song and dance number out of her. She's dancing along with the movie. It was very cute. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we get the placard, Fall, 1949, Daegu, South Korea. So the girl we met is Ji-Ah, as we come to find out. So we've heard her on the phone. We saw her stab Tick. That's all we know about her. So we find... Okay, so it's Ji-Ah and what turns out to be her mom.
Right.
And I guess they're poor. Yeah, Uma must be Korean for mommy.
That house doesn't look poor. But
well,
who knows what poor looks like.
This is what we were talking about, though. It was the 50s or the 40s, right? So, like, the standard of living, there wasn't so much greed. Like, you could have a roof over your head on a meager salary. Without making a lot of money, you could still have a house. It was a more innocent time for the world.
I guess.
The good old days. Lots of wars, though. Anyway, so her family... whatever the family is, seems to be pretty poor. She's going to school to become a nurse, and she wants to make money for her family. She thinks that'll earn them respect. Their neighbors don't talk to them.
After what happened to their father.
Did they mention father at that point?
Yes.
I don't remember that
She
part.
said yes. I mean, it might have not been that particular conversation, but...
There's no father in the picture.
Right. No, I think it was that. She said, nobody gives us respect because of what have happened to your father or... because of your father. And
and we know, like, honor's a thing. Their family has lost their honor. And Ji-Ah thinks that she's going to get this degree, and then people will respect their family again.
You would think so. Well, I mean, not that that's what life should be like, but yeah.
But then comes the reality, the harsh reality of the 40s, 50s, and beyond. She can't bring respect back to the family. She can't bring honor back to the family just by being educated. Woman. She's just, what she needs is to go out there and bring home a man.
All right.
A man is the only way we're going to get respect anymore. Yep.
I have no response to that.
We know where this episode's going. Okay, well, back over to nursing school. It's Cadaver Day. Pretty awesome. That must have been fun for the prop masters, huh?
Right. Maybe they were real. Nah. They wouldn't subject actors to that.
Cadavers, I guess, are pretty hard to come by.
Are they?
I think they are.
I'm donating my cadaver.
Are you?
I'm a donator. They do whatever. I mean, don't they just do whatever they need to with you? Say they open me up and all my stuff inside is too bad to like take. Do they just send me to the cadaver lab?
You'd make a fantastic scientific study, I'm sure. There's lots of metal in her. I don't know. I feel like it's almost like when you get like a turkey for Thanksgiving. I think they have to be careful with your organs and like put them back inside the body when they're done fishing around in there. Like a bag of parts.
And where they're supposed to go so the next class can come in and say.
Maybe. I mean, you can't really reconnect them all, but I mean, it's not like Legos. They don't just snap together, but I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been to medical school. I've just heard that cadavers are very expensive. Like when you're in medical school, you get like 1 day. Now that's one day
for cadaver study?
Yeah. But that's now.
Wow.
That's what I've heard. Wow. But back then, maybe they had more cadavers. It was a war. Maybe they were just pulling bodies off.
They had lots of cadavers, but who had time for that when there's a war? I ain't got time for that.
Well, they still had time to have nursing school, so that's good. And all these nursing girls, they're all girls, of course. Can't have boy nurses. All these nursing girls are talking about how one of them might drop out of school because she met a man and and they're all just giggling. And they mention how this girl talked to this boy or maybe the boy spoke to her using banmal.
Right. Do you know what that means?
I did. Yeah, I looked that up. So, Jondaemal is formal Korean, and then banmal is informal. It's what you would use to talk to someone that you're very close to.
Slang?
I don't know. I mean, maybe there's some slang, but like...
Okay, so I get it. They're like proper on the outside, but when they're at home, they're like, hey, how you doing?
More casual conversation. Or it could just be as simple as, like, I've only really studied Spanish at any depth, but there's like tú and usted. So like tú is an informal version of you, which you would talk to someone that you're either close to or a child or something. And usted is more formal when you're saying, how are you doing? That particular version of you is
how
a formal greeting.
Doing?
¿Cómo está usted?
That's weird.
Or ¿Cómo estás? Would be the less formal version. So ¿Cómo está usted? Is how are you in a very formal way. And ¿Cómo estás? Estás is the two conjugations.
It's like what up?
Star. We're having Spanish class now. It's the only thing I know. I don't know Korean.
Okay, so what does it mean?
Banmal is just the informal speech. So it must mean you like the girl because you're talking to her casually.
Okay.
Right. Okay. And Ji-Ah is like studying these girls, and she's just isolated.
Right. She doesn't. So strange.
She doesn't seem to have a good friend circle.
She's right. She's on the outside.
Right.
And she's not in the clique.
We eventually find out why.
That's how I was in high school. I know how she feels.
Anything else I should know about you? Ji-Ah's got some secrets.
Not yet.
Okay. You don't know me well enough? Okay. And in the next scene, Ji-Ah has gone to what appears to be a speed dating event.
Right.
Which is
so strange.
It's pretty cool. Like, I don't know if that's realistic or not. I don't know if that really happened.
Well, okay.
But I thought it was a new invention in like the 90s.
But both people were willing participants. Like these girls are like the men are scoring. The men get to choose. The girls don't get to choose anything.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it's not perfect.
But it's weird, isn't it? All the nurses.
And it's all the nurses. And I think they said that all these guys were like engineering students or something like that, right?
Well, maybe somebody just put it together.
Maybe it's like a mixer, school. Like two schools came together, but instead of having a dance, like they
have a
like we've seen that in some movies.
Pick your nurse.
Was it School Ties? Maybe, I don't know, one of those movies. Dead Poet Society. Maybe like the two schools would come together and everyone would be awkward. Maybe it was like that, but speed dating because
I don't think that's what it is. But let's move on.
Anyway,
bingo cards.
So Ji-Ah keeps talking to these guys, and she just kind of comes off as a huge dork. Like she's talking about American movies and pop culture, and this guy's like, you suck, you propagandist pig.
Right.
And just she's not clicking with people. They keep Xing her out on the paper. She meets one guy at the very end.
And they totally would have gotten along. What is it about her that nobody likes?
She's too pretty.
Is
it's
she?
Off-putting.
Is that it?
Maybe. I don't know. She's very pretty.
I think, do they know her family's shame?
Well, that's a good question. Does that spread? I mean, it seems like they're
probably
in a fairly well-populated area.
But they don't seem to know each other.
It's true. Right, yeah. She's meeting all these strangers. If they're strangers to her, then...
That's weird.
I don't know. But no one seems to like her. Even the guy that also liked Judy Garland. He was really into Judy Garland.
The perfect guy for her.
And he still rejects her at the end.
They could have been dancing together at the theater.
And he winds up leaving with this girl, who we didn't know at the time, but her name turns out to be Young Ja. And he leaves with her, and she's like, he's kind of boring, but he's so cute. But why don't you come hang out? And she's like holding Ji-Ah's hand. Mm-hmm. You were getting some vibes from that. Right. I think. Tell us more.
Well, I mean, she seems to care for her more than just a friend, to me.
Think she digs her?
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily believe that at first, but a little bit later, I thought maybe.
Well, and that's why she hasn't, chosen one of these suitors. She has the most of all the men that want to be with her. She hasn't accepted any of them.
Yeah, maybe. But wait, there's more. Okay, so first, in the next scene, I don't know if it's the same night or not. They really don't make any of that clear, but they're at a bar, maybe a dance hall. There's dancing, there's music, there's drinks. And Ji-Ah's just kind of hanging out there, and she catches the eye of a nice young man, played by James Kyson, who I immediately recognized because he was in the show Heroes a long time ago. And he was, I can't remember his character's name, but there was Hiro Nakamura, the guy who could stop time, and this was his best friend who didn't have, for most of the show, who didn't have any powers. But he was just a good guy. And I remember him, and I knew he follows you on Twitter.
That's right. I don't know.
That's right. He follows me.
I follow him too.
You follow him. He follows you. Is there anything
we follow each other.
Is this one of your secrets?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He's pretty built.
Oh my goodness!
I guess I wouldn't blame you.
I know. You did not expect to see that when he took off his shirt.
He clearly does not have my appetite for cake. I'll say that. So they must have talked or something. I don't know. But next thing you know, they're at Ji-Ah's house. And she lights one candle.
And they all light up.
So something funny's going on.
And he's like, wow, that's weird.
Was he? Did that even bother him?
Well, he saw that, but then she took off her dress and everything else was out. He's
right,
like,
yeah,
all right.
Nothing. No, I understand that. Nothing matters.
I love her dress. Beautiful. All of the clothing in this is beautiful. I love their gowns.
Well, in the other episodes too. I mean, Letty is a fashion icon.
I feel like this one has much more beautiful.
All right.
Clothing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I thought the dress was nice, but again, she got undressed and I blacked out. So she gets naked and then he gets naked. They seem to know what each other wants. And she just lays down and he
does his thing.
He does his thing. Doesn't look like it's a lot of fun for her.
No, she's just tolerating.
Even though he's cut.
Yeah, she's just not even touching him.
Yeah, she's just lying there.
Right.
What's that about, babe? I just want the woman's perspective on that. That seems very unpleasant.
That's just hurry up and get it over with, because sometimes you just got to do that. You're tired. You just want to go to bed.
Okay. All right. Well, so it seemed like maybe he finised.
He did seem
and
so,
then
right?
As he's finishing this, I had written furry pussy tentacle.
Oh, no. It looks like a rat tail at first.
And for some reason, I did not think tail.
Well, I thought bug.
Because it's just the way it's moving around and the fact that
Slithering.
this is Cthulhu, I guess, something related to Cthulhu. I figured tentacle, but it looked furry,
Yeah.
which is really weird for tentacles.
Does it feel good to come out? Because she seemed to be enjoying that part at first.
Well, she was getting something out of it, at least. She was absorbing a soul. There's got to be something to that.
That must feel good.
I mean, in the Highlander movies, it looks painful, but also energizing.
We should try it out sometime.
Okay. Well, as soon as you're ready to show me your tentacles. My original note was, let's see, she doesn't look like she got much out of it, ... until her furry pussy tentacle fucks his butt.
We don't know that happened. We didn't see it
I
actually
think it went
go
right
there.
into his butthole. Where else would it have gone?
In his back?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We can watch this again if you
I don't
want.
want to see this part again.
I'm all for it. And then lots of tentacles. They came out of her ears, her nose,
Right.
her mouth,
her eye.
her eyes, right?
Eyes.
Her eyes went into his eyes, which to me looked very Rick and Morty. Like there's this episode where like there's these eyeball socket things that are like candy, but they're, I don't know, it's a weird episode, but Rick and Morty's awesome. If you watch it, you know what we're talking about. But when she puts eyes into his tentacles, she can see his memories. She sees him like getting married and climbing a mountain.
When she puts his eyes in his tentacles, I think that's what you just said.
I don't know anymore. There's a lot of tentacles. There's a lot of orifices. I can't keep them all straight. But she can see his memories, and then she like pulls the mouth tentacle out just long enough for him to scream, and then he explodes everywhere.
Did he scream the same thing she did?
I don't know.
I feel like they
thought
said
he was
the
just
same
screaming,
thing.
ah!
And she said,
"Oh yeah." Well, she like he was on top of the mountain. He was like, "Ha ha!" And then she went, "Ah!" Like after he exploded.
"Oh, she was."
She did the same. Yeah.
I thought she said something.
I don't think so. I think it was just that I did it. She was very proud of herself. So you would think that this would be a problem as she's lying there covered in blood, which incidentally, it did not turn me off. She was very attractive. What?
Okay.
I'm just saying,
Let's
she's just
pass
laying
over
there
that comment.
all slick and slippery.
The whole room is covered in parts and pieces and gooiness and blood.
Very thorough. I didn't see a lot of bones.
Everywhere is this stuff, and
then the door opens.
Uma's come. Yay!
Mom's like, 10 more.
Right. You have 10 more to go.
She's not fazed by this at all, so clearly we've missed something.
Hoses did not exist back then. It's not like she can just go in there and hose off the ceiling.
That would have been so much better.
She had to clean that whole place by hand, because who else is going to do that?
We see that in a later scene, yeah.
With her one
impressive.
Little
rag.
hand.
One rag.
Hand.
One rag and a bucket.
A washcloth.
Oh my God. That's why it's taking so long to get this project done, because it's like 3 weeks to clean up in between each man. All right. So Flash. Everyone's clean now. Ji-Ah's back at the movie theater. She's watching Irving Berlin's Easter Parade, which apparently also stars Judy Garland. This is the Judy Garland Theater, I guess. And then there's an earthquake. Rumble, 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 rumble. And the film gets ruined, it looks like. And everyone runs outside, and it's tanks in the streets with dudes yelling, "America is here to fight for your freedom," while throwing leaflets everywhere. A lot of littering. It's bad news. And Ji-Ah seems deep in thought about this.
Right. She's deep in thought about a lot of things all the time.
Mm-hmm. And then we get a very long scene with Ji-Ah and her mom. And we rewound it a couple times just to try to figure out exactly what the hell they were talking about.
Right. And we find out.
Like, it all started with Ji-Ah saying something about anchovies and how
it was her birthday, right?
She knew that. It was such weird phrasing, too. She didn't say dad. She was talking to mom, and she said, "Your husband."
Right.
It was very explicitly that way. Like, your husband liked anchovies. And she's like, "How'd you know that?" And then they have this conversation about how Ji-Ah absorbs memories. So, at this point, we know that Ji-Ah killed her mom's husband.
Well, no, we didn't know that, but now we can...
Well, she
assume
said
that
she absorbed his memories, so it must have been similar to the tentacle thing.
So.
It's the tentacles were involved.
Yes, that's proof.
And we haven't seen him around. Okay. And mom's like, you should be bringing home more American men because those soldiers are easy pickings, whatever. And, okay. And she says 2 more souls. So now we're up to 98.
Yes. This must have gone. How long did that take?
Some time passed. We didn't get any more like, here's what date it is. But yeah, from the 10, we're down to 2. So 2 more souls and all those memories you've absorbed will be gone. All right. And this is where we get the exposition. So,
and you'll be my daughter again.
I don't think she said that at this point.
No.
But we did get the background of the Mudang.
Who is like a shaman.
Right. So that's a Korean shaman lady, very specifically a lady. So I looked this up for all you guys. All right. So there's an ancient religion called Shinnism. It's polytheistic and animistic, which is a term I wound up using for other reasons later when we were watching Raised by Wolves. That came up. So we got to talk about that show sometime soon. Polytheistic and animistic religion, and animism is all things, even rocks and trees and stuff.
Equal.
They all have a spiritual essence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's spirits in everything.
I kind of feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all right then. You're an animist. But it's this ancient religion from Korea, dates back to prehistory. They would worship gods, but also ancestors, nature spirits, all this stuff. And then we also get the term kumiho.
Mm-hmm.
So we know the Mudang summoned a kumiho at mom's request.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, we had to look that up. And the show tells us that later anyway, but it's this 9-tailed fox spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not tentacles. Now we know.
Right. I think something's wrong with the fox. Because it's got like scabies or something.
There's like white, chunky things. Like
its hair is all sparse.
Lice or something. I don't know.
Maybe it's just really old.
It hasn't been cleaning its tails.
It's not cute anymore because foxes are kind of cute.
Yeah, they are. But we've never seen one with 9 tails.
No.
There's that one from Sonic the Hedgehog that has 2 tails.
Right. He's cute too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've never seen him fuck. What? Your son's not going to listen.
I'm sure that's out there somewhere.
I'm sure it is. If we can think of it, it exists on the internet. Okay, so yeah, the final story is if... okay, no, I guess you were right. This does come up in the conversation in this scene. So if Ji-Ah, the kumiho, absorbs 100 souls, then the kumiho itself will leave and Ji-Ah will become human again.
Right.
So Ji-Ah is not human at all, but it must be the same body.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
The kumiho spirit is inside the original Ji-Ah body, grew up.
I also read that the kumio makes women very beautiful and, you know.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The kumiho could take the form of a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm. It's usually, yeah. So what if she gets the kumio, she has one more, she gets to 100, kumio comes out, what's she going to look like?
She grows a hunch. Like,
oh. Yennefer.
Oh, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Then she'll have to have her uterus removed.
Oh, what a mess that would be. This seems... Actually, no, this is much, much messier. 100 exploded bodies. So mom says, bring home a soldier, you dumbass. Ta-da. All right.
Uh-huh.
Flash over to the hospital. The hospital's a mess. There's screaming soldiers everywhere, bleeding, wounds, people losing limbs.
Right. Some guy comes in with a big old fracture, his bones sticking out.
Right. And they're going to set it, but he tries to...
He hits her or something.
He grabs her arm and he's like twisting her arm or something like that. And then young Ji-Ah, she
very concerned,
sedates that dude and is concerned, holds Ji-Ah's hand and checks to see if she's okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean...
They're close.
Friends do that, but they're not like longingly looking at him. Right.
Right. Yeah. You would check on her hand, but you wouldn't hold it the way young Ji-Ah was holding it.
Unless it's just a different culture.
Well, this is where that scene didn't quite win me over to thinking that maybe there was a little more romance going on, but the next scene did, which was now they're outside and they're having a conversation. Ji-Ah's telling her, my mom wants me to change who I am. Doesn't tell her about the foxtails thing.
Right.
But I'm not sure I want to. And young Ji-Ah's like, you're perfect the way you are. You don't have to change just to make someone else happy. You're perfect. And then this angry mob has a communist that they caught, and they just hang him right there in the town square.
It seemed like a bunch of white guys in that truck, but I wasn't sure.
I think there was a mix. Like the army soldiers were there and they weren't stopping it, but I think the mob itself was mostly Korean dudes.
It looks like something from America in the 1950s.
Lynchings, they're quick and effective. And they, Young Ja is especially hit by this because she's a communist, as it turns out, but she's trying to keep that a secret.
She has to.
Ji-Ah had figured it out, but she's going to keep it a secret too. But Young Ja's statement as this hanging was happening was all about, like, there's nothing wrong with being different. And that's where I started thinking that maybe you were right.
She's different.
Young Ja is more different than just being a communist, but she's living all these extra lives that she can't let out because it's a terrible time to be different.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially back then in Korea. I bet that was being a lesbian.
Well, it wasn't good in America either.
Talk about bringing shame to your house.
Just like in America.
Yep.
Right. Yep. And probably most countries. I mean, I don't actually know the history, but homosexuality historically has been frowned upon.
Unless it was back in like the 1800s, 1900s.
Or like ancient Greece. It's okay in ancient Greece.
Yeah. Or if you're in some weird tribe in, I don't know, Timbuktu or something, because I read that's a thing too.
Well, we had the intersex lady from 2 episodes ago. Right.
That's what I thought was going to happen when she took off her clothes.
Yeah, right?
I thought it was going to be something similar, but I was wrong.
So Young Ja probably in love with Ji-Ah. And then that gets proven soon. All right, so meanwhile, Ji-Ah tentacles a soldier that she made eyes with. Blows him up. And that's when we see Mom cleaning up the mess with a tiny rag.
Right, with her wash. It's just so small. And she's got like a tiny bucket.
Yep. And there's blood and viscera everywhere. And what I really loved about that scene, like, it was very funny with the washcloth, but also the part where all Ji-Ah's contributing to the cleanup is putting out the candles.
Well,
that's her thing.
Yeah.
I lit the candles. I exploded the guy. I put out the candles. You do all the rest of it. I have to take a bath. That's going to take me a couple hours to get all that out of me. Anyway. But we get some more exposition.
It's like spider legs. That's what they first look like.
If you could walk around on them, that'd be fun. Like Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man.
Oh, that'd be weird.
So we wind up learning during this long conversation that the reason the Kumiho was summoned was because Daddy was hurting his daughter.
Right. I think Ji-Ah brought up first that Dad loved me. She knew he loved her.
Right, from the memories he absorbed.
Right.
And Mom's like,
confused about love.
I had to protect you. You know, Ji-Ah was being hurt by her dad. But the way that they're using the language is interesting, just in, like, we're not saying Dad hurt you, even though you're in Ji-Ah's body. Like, Mom draws very clear lines about that, and so does Ji-Ah to a certain point.
Yeah.
But not as much. But Ji-Ah's like, you know what? I kind of like my life. I think I'm going to stay as a monster. And Mom's like, no, you're going to finish this. I want my daughter back. God damn it. I've cleaned up 99 exploded bodies.
Over how long? Do we know when this happened?
Well, we didn't get an age, but okay, well,
when did that start?
We can narrow it down if we keep going through this scene.
Okay.
Mom just wanted to protect her daughter, but the price turned out to be too high. Ji-Ah says she has no memories of the real Ji-Ah. That's the only person she doesn't have memories of. And then she starts singing a nursery rhyme. And Mom's like, see, you do have Ji-Ah's memories. Ji-Ah's inside you.
She's so happy.
And Ji-Ah's like, no, I'm singing that because I have Dad's memories. And that is the nursery rhyme that Ji-Ah used to sing while Dad was raping her.
Right.
So nursery rhyme, probably pretty young. So, I mean... Hopefully not.
It's bad no matter what.
I won't even say, like, hopefully not this age versus that age. They're all bad ages. But
so sad.
It has me thinking somewhere in, like, the 4 to 6 range, probably, is when it all started.
Who knows?
So that's 99 bodies over 25 to 30 years. I don't know. Something like that. But then a long tirade from Ji-Ah berating her mom because it wasn't just that this rape was happening. It was that
she let it happen.
She let it happen. And that's why Dad picked Mom, was because he knew that Mom was the sort of person that was weak-willed and would just let this rape continue. Mm-hmm. Gross. Yeah. Even the thought of like, I'm going to marry this lady and make a baby with her so I can rape the baby.
Oh my gosh. So this brings me back to the bingo cards.
Yes.
Maybe that's what Uma went through, and she gave all these weak answers like, yes, sir, I would feed you, and I would clean you and bathe you, and I'll keep your house so clean. And he's like, all right. That's where the bingo cards come in.
Maybe.
That's why nobody likes her, because she's different and she's not like there to please him.
Right. Well, and then it seemed like Ji-Ah was kind of an outcast too. Mm-hmm. Maybe people have the same view of her, but for much different reasons. So just a heart-wrenching scene on a number of levels. Yeah, pretty bad. And somewhere in all of this, like, Ji-Ah, the Kumiho, is not supposed to have feelings. It's not supposed to have emotions.
Right.
It's just supposed to be this spirit devoted to...
Her mom's like, you can't have feelings. You don't feel love. Don't...
Yeah, stop pretending like you care about me or you or anybody. Right. Okay. So, on to the next scene. Huge change. All the nurses have been put in the back of a truck. They've been taken out to the middle of nowhere. And the soldier says that they know that there's a communist in the hospital. They've caught communications going out at this such and such time every day. So they know that it's someone on this nursing shift. They know it's a nurse. And who is it? And they immediately kill one lady who's like, it's not me. And they're like, shoot her in the head anyway.
That's what they used to do.
And then the guy's out of bullets. So he calls in for help shooting people. And that's when we meet Atticus.
Right. He is completely different.
Yeah. Well, he was willing to just take down the next nurse while asking, who is it? Who is it? Who's going to fess up? Shoots another one in the head. So that's a kill on Atticus.
And that just teaches you about the soldier mentality, what they do to your brain.
Right. Well, yeah, that's part of basic training, right? To break you down.
Break you down and
turn you into
somebody who doesn't give a shit.
An order follower.
Yeah.
But what's been found is that doesn't, I mean, they can break you down and turn you into an order follower, but it doesn't break the part of you that has PTSD, that is affected by your actions. Right. Whether it's remorse or just your own form of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Over and over trauma.
I can't remember what it was, some podcast, but they were talking about when Hitler was coming up and they started exterminating Jews. Originally it was, and you've seen pictures of it probably, but like they'd line up a whole bunch of Jews, make them dig their own graves, and then one of the soldiers or a few of the soldiers would go down the line one by one and just shoot you in the back of the head. But what they found was that was fucking up their army. Like, these guys were willing to follow the orders and murder these Jews, but doing it was breaking them. And the commanders started to worry that they wouldn't have an army left if they kept doing that for too long. So that's when the concentration camps became part of the strategy, was to take and the death camps too, but to just take all these people out, and you could starve them to death. But you're isolating them. It takes some of the humanity out of the murder. And, you put them in the gas chambers, and it's sort of a hands-off experience. You have to collect the bodies later, put them in ovens or whatever, but not directly shooting them in the back of the head and having less people that needed to be involved in that and see it happen. That was how they were able to keep the machine going.
Wow.
Otherwise it would have broken down eventually.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. So that was Atticus shooting girls in the head, and he's about to shoot Ji-Ah in the head. And young Ji-Ah
steps in, and
it's
it was
love.
Right.
It's got to be love, right? And says, "No, it's me, it's me."
It could have been that guy.
The guy, well, yeah. So young Ji-Ah was like whispering back and forth to this one guy all the time, and they were both communists, I guess. But she didn't turn him in.
Yeah. And it may not have been her at all. She might have just been wanting to protect Ji-Ah.
Maybe. It's possible. Yeah, she never actually said that she was a communist, but she might have been.
Well, yeah, she was. But, I mean, there's just two factors there, that she probably loved her and she would protect her even if she wasn't the one.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, at that point, it seems pretty clear that young Ji-Ah is in love with Ji-Ah. Mm-hmm. So they drag young Ji-Ah off. Ji-Ah is very upset by this. And then That's over. Boom. Fall 1950. We move on. Ji-Ah's walking through the streets. Movie theater has been closed down because communism, I guess. Like there was
right. It said writing on the wall. This was a communist theater. Right. It's shut down.
Can't go to a communist theater. That would be evil. Back in the hospital, still lots of injuries, blood. Ji-Ah's covered in blood. All the nurses are covered in blood. It's pretty ugly. And then Tick is there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He has a head wound and a broken leg. And Ji-Ah remembers him. Mm-hmm. You see it go through her face.
Right.
Awesome acting. She goes to take a deep breath and catch her, figure out what she wants to do about this. And he's all frustrated because he's trying to read a book and he can't because his glasses are broken. And he starts crying in his bed. And she resolves herself to take his soul. She tells her mom that and everything. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do it. I found the 100th soul. This one is worth taking.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I would agree.
But when?
She can't do it. And then I was thinking she can't do it in the hospital because then there will be blood everywhere.
Well, you could just hit a bunch of guys with ether, wait till all the other nurses are changing shift or something.
What a mess.
Just tentacle them real quick. Hey, messes. It was a messy place. Who's going to notice
the
one more
night before it was clean.
We leave you alone in here for 5 minutes and all surfaces are covered with blood. How did this happen? So she's tending to him in his bed, blah, blah, blah. And he asks her to read him the Count of Monte Cristo because he can't read right now because of glasses. And she's like, this is how it ends. It's pretty stupid. But she only saw the movie. And he says, listen, you got to read the book. Just trust me on this. And she doesn't want to do it. But the next scene, they're out getting some fresh air. The nurses are all standing in a circle throwing a ball at each other.
What a weird pastime. This is our break. Hot potato.
It's
strange.
It must be their best exercise they can get during this troubling time.
I don't know.
But they're all playing a little game with the ball. And it bounces over to the soldiers. And it's Tick and another guy. I don't even think we ever got his name. But he's a Korean-American soldier.
Is he?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if he was Korean.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. And Tick starts to flirt a little bit. He's being very nice to her. And then she asks if the soldiers have met Judy Garland because she doesn't really know how America works. With even just the fact that she's a celebrity, you can't just have met Judy Garland. But then there's racist stuff on top of that, segregation and all that. And she does not understand this.
Right.
Because it's a very mono race society that she's living in.
Mm-hmm.
So they try to explain, and we do get, so I had to look this up. So the Korean buddy says, she's like, why don't you stay here after the war? Both of you, you could be happy here. And the Korean guy says he isn't really home anywhere. It doesn't matter. If he goes to the US, he's a gook.
Right.
And if he's in Korea, he's a yangnam. Mm-hmm. I looked that up, and that is a racist term for just a shitty Westerner. Just a general. It's like, I don't know. It's like Mexicans calling white people gringos, right? It's a derogatory term,
Gotcha.
Definitely racist, but it could be Europeans, U.S., just any Westerners, but very derogatory. So he doesn't feel like he's at home anywhere.
Poor
so
guy.
Educational for her, maybe.
Right.
But then she and Tick are talking more. She talks movies were her escape from the horrors of life, and books were Tick's escape from the horrors of life. But when the books couldn't take him far enough away, he joined the army. Mm-hmm. Which I think we heard all that before, was to get away from Montrose, right?
Right.
And they become friends. She winds up reading to him. They read, I guess, the whole book. I don't know how she has time for that.
No, he only needed the last 3 chapters.
Oh, that's right. Well, but she hadn't read the book.
Maybe she...
So I thought that meant that she had started over, but you're probably right.
Who knows?
Because it takes a long time to read a book that
I know.
But she winds up reading to him. They get to the end of the book. He talks about how it's his father's favorite book. So we saw that. We've seen it a few times now in this show. Mm-hmm. And then they bond over the fact that they both had parents who tried to get them to be something they're not. In Tick's case, I'm guessing...
A tough boy?
A tough guy, yeah.
Right.
Not a nerd. Mm-hmm. And in her case, human.
Or, yeah, we're going to have to come back to that. I think that's what it is, right? I mean, she did it to her.
Well, she didn't understand how bad this was going to be. Okay. I think that's mom's defense. It's like, I wanted to protect you. I didn't realize
I was putting
this fucked up. I didn't realize there would be this many tentacles going into that many buttholes. That's
nostrils, mouth.
Ear holes. God. Huh. Okay, so now they're friends. She goes to meet Atticus at the base. They were supposed to go have a date, but instead...
This part got scary.
Did it?
Yes. I was like, oh my God, she's in for it.
When she was going inside the base. So she gets beckoned inside the base. She has to basically pretend that she's a hooker.
Right.
Or they make it out that she's a hooker because the hookers are the only people around. I should say sex worker. But from this time, hookers. But whatever. She has to pretend to be a sex worker so that she can go inside the base. That's all it's allowed because no sex worker would ever be a communist spy.
And we all got to have those.
Communist spies?
Sex workers.
Oh, well. Soldiers can't survive without sex.
No.
I guess. I don't know. So he set up a movie theater for her inside the base. How cool is that? That
was so romantic.
Right. And the Korean dude helped.
Mm-hmm.
He helped. He started the movie and everything. He was being a good friend.
Yep.
God, I hope he's okay. It'd be nice if we could see him.
Mm.
What? Should we just assume that anyone Atticus knew during the war is
dead? I feel like he
dead?
talked about him at one point.
Oh, man. Are we going to have to rewatch the whole series?
Yeah.
Shit. We don't have time.
Okay.
All right. How did he... Okay, it was Summer Stock, the very same movie that Ji-Ah had been looking forward to before the movie theater closed down. It's another Judy Garland film. I've never even heard of it. And all we need to know is that Uncle George helped him get it.
Right. Weird.
So Atticus called home and was like, hey, Uncle, can you help me get this brand new release movie on film sent to the army base in Korea?
Weird.
George is good. Was. R.I.P.
He's got some connections.
Prayers for George.
In Hollywood, I guess. And then some with UPS because it got there fast.
Well, we don't know how much time passed, but within weeks, I guess. Well, he's out of the hospital now. He's walking again. So it must have taken
a couple months.
Some weeks, maybe a month or two. Yeah. All right. Well, it's been a lovely date, and it is now seduction time.
Well, they start kissing.
They leave the base.
Nobody's seducing anybody. Oh, she's seducing him.
I would think so. I mean, that's what it seemed like it was going to be. Tick is a nervous virgin. He stops her and fesses up that he's never done this before.
Right.
But she has. She'll take care of him. Oh, but his confession here is that he has done horrible things, and they haunt him. But when he's with her, he feels like there's still some good inside him. He feels like there's hope. Mm-hmm. Is that romantic? It's kind of romantic, I guess, right? But also kind of like,
I don't know.
What did you do that was so horrible? Like I don't know.
Well, she knows what he's done. He shot her best friend.
She didn't know all of it.
No, she doesn't know all of it, but I mean,
he dragged off her best friend.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying she knows.
Yeah, I guess. All right, so they start to make out. It's romantic. They start to have sex, and then she freaks out.
Because
did the tentacles start to come?
They were starting to come.
And so she flips out and is like, get out, get out, get out. And Mom is not happy about this. They have a little tiff. And then Mom spits on her.
Ugh.
Bad Mom.
I do not like her. She should have put that 7-tentacled fox into herself.
That would have made sense. I mean,
just be careful what you wish for, people. I mean, you might get a djinn. You might get tentacled foxes.
Right. There's lessons in all of these shows.
Yes.
Be careful with wishes. It has to be magical wishes, but be careful with them. So I guess Tick took offense to that. It wasn't just like, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't like they had a romantic night.
It was like violent. She was like violent, like he had done something wrong.
Sometimes a girl freaks out.
What gets me is then Uma opens the door immediately to a naked Tick, and he's like running out. I would have, if I was Tick, I would have thought she must have caught wind that her mom was coming.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, oh, I hear my mom moving around.
Like, get out.
He could have interpreted a lot of different ways, but he apparently took it very badly because she showed up at the base and he comes out and he's like, fuck you, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a confused boy.
But then she lets it all out. You killed my best friend. And he says, I'm sorry, but I was following orders. And she said, I was going to kill you. But
we're
then
both
I got
monsters.
to know you. We're both monsters. The war tore you apart, and I'm whatever I am. But But her plea is, we could be the people we see in each other. And so they go back to the movie theater on the base and have sex.
Mm-hmm. Good sex. No tentacles.
No tentacles, but was it good sex? It was good for him.
I mean, it seemed okay for her. She had
I feel
fine
like
time.
She got a bonding experience out of it. I don't feel
you don't know what she got out of it.
Didn't look like she got much out of it. I'm just saying. I feel bad for her.
She was in control. I'm just saying.
That's
and
true.
She's had at least 99 men.
Other sexes.
So she knows how to take care of herself, I'm sure.
I hope so. Be very sad to think that she wasn't ever getting anything. All right. Well, that was nice. And then she's happy. She's like, I'm with Tick now. And she's telling Mom, like, everything's
singing
good.
Judy Garland songs.
I got a boyfriend now, Mom. And Mom's like, you're going to kill him sooner or later. And she's like, no, I can control my tails. And that's the first time it occurred to me that they were tails and not tentacles.
Right.
But does he know what you really are? Will he still love you then?
He will not.
It would be difficult. But I feel like
if that was me.
She's very pretty. And she's very cool.
If I was as pretty and as cool as her.
Yes.
And thank you very much. All these tentacles start coming out of me.
What just happened?
Would you be able to lay next to me at night?
Not if you're mad at me about something.
Right.
Like right now.
That might worry you. Some sleepless nights.
Yeah, I might worry like, oh God, we just had a fight. I'm afraid those tentacles are going to get me in my sleep. Mm-hmm. But it's like, like I could touch you and you feel like human skin and flesh and, your parts work all the same as any other. Well, I'm a virgin, so I don't know, but I assume that
it feels the same
it feels good, right?
It's not furry in there.
It might be, but I don't know any better because I'm a virgin.
True.
I mean, I feel like it would be kind of cool. Like, this is my girlfriend. She's
really?
a demon, but whatever.
You're
we
crazy.
fuck good. I feel like I'd be kind of into that. I don't know.
Okay.
But you're still human on the outside. Mm-hmm. And we bond over American pop culture.
Isn't it what's on the inside that matters?
You'd probably still be doing a podcast with me. What more could I ask for? And if someone ever broke into the home, you whip those tentacles out.
I mean, you could just
apart.
like me. I mean, you're wanting the tentacle lady over me now.
I'm saying it would be okay if you had tentacles. Mm-hmm. Tails. Tentacle tails.
So then he,
What?
So then they say, we're not monsters.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know anything about her yet. But we've gone now that the last stuff was fall of 1950. Now we fast forward to winter of 1950. So they've known each other a while now, probably 6 months since the hospital at least. So they've been in a relationship for a good few months. And they're snuggling up and she's reading an old book full of fairy tales or whatever. And she reads him a story of a 9-tailed fox spirit called a kumeho.
Right.
And he's like, cool, whatevs. By the way, my rotation's pretty much over. I can go home now. And she's like, all right. And he's like, well, you could come with me. And she's like, you don't know me. And he's like,
you should stay here.
And he says, there's nothing you can tell me that would change the way I feel about you. So rather than do that and actually try telling him, they fuck again. Uh-huh. And she's having so much fun.
She forgets.
She forgets about her tentacle tails. And she goes right for the eyes.
Maybe it's only the orgasms that make the tentacle tails come out.
Oh, wait. But then that means, no.
Right. That means she never had one with Tick before.
She was finally enjoying the sex. And she lost control of her tails. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so sad for her. But she tentacles him right in the eyeballs.
Yeah.
That seems like that would hurt. And so, we had to stop and start this a lot of times. The visions of Atticus. Here's everything that we learn. Number 1, we see a scene of Dora and young Atticus flying a kite. That was nice. Then a vision of him reading a book. And then a vision of him getting the shit kicked out of him by Montrose. Little boy Atticus.
Yeah.
Then we get adult Atticus young Ji-Ah down while other people were pulling out her teeth. That sucks.
That sucks bad.
And then we don't really know what we saw next. I took something completely different out of this the first time around, but then I think you figured it out. Perhaps a vision of the future. There's a naked black lady. It's not Letty. It's obviously not Ji-Ah. It's a lady, though. And
it could be
naked,
Ruby.
And he's in bed next to her. I don't think it was Ruby. But what I was like, so I thought if she's getting all his memories, then that means he lied about being a virgin, which would be really fucked up. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Maybe it's Christina with a potion.
You know what? Wait, Christina.
Oh. Isn't that her name?
Yeah. I mean, that lady could be anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But.
Where's Letty?
Oh, shit. Okay, so let's say all the visions were chronological, which I think they were.
I think they were too.
But let's say that part was a vision of something after Korea. So he wasn't lying about being a virgin, but when he got home from Korea, he had sex with a lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That still means that he's a liar because he lied to Letty. When he was talking to Letty, he said there was one other girl in Korea during the war.
This
blah, blah,
could
blah.
be after Letty.
But this relationship is special. What he has with Letty is special. He was trying to make her feel better because she was a virgin and he was her first.
Well, but that could have happened after Letty. That's what I'm saying.
Well, not if these visions are chronological.
We'll see.
All the rest of them appear.
I don't think Tick's a liar. Maybe he didn't even have sex with that woman that he's laying in bed with.
They were just two friends hanging out naked.
Yes. Yes. They blurred her face for a reason. I think it was Ruby.
But then we see him get what appears to be baptized. Like maybe like born again kind of thing. So I'm wondering, maybe he got involved with this lady. Maybe there could be anything. He could have knocked her up. Who knows? Maybe he was forced to marry her and had to get baptized as part of that whole rigmarole.
I mean, they were sleeping kind of far apart from each other.
They weren't doing no sleeping. But wait. No. Because if it's chronological, shit. Okay. So there's a naked black lady, whoever she is. But then we see him getting a bus ticket to Chicago. And then we see him getting baptized. So when the fuck did that happen? We haven't seen that happen, right? Maybe it was part of the preparation ceremonies for the children of Adam.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe. He was wearing some kind of white robe. Was he wearing a white robe in the first?
I don't know. He got bathed naked.
So many things. Then we see just Letty's face. Okay. And then we see him strapped to something somewhere. And he might be drugged. He appears to be kind of out of it.
Yeah.
So that definitely hasn't happened yet, whatever that is. And he gets booted off of the tentacles. She flips him real good.
Yeah, she gains control and is like, I hope it didn't go up his butt.
No, she was like, because at first as the tentacles came out, she was trying to like grab them and keep them under control, but the two that wanted the eyes just went right for it. I don't think he got butt fucked. But but he did get penetrated in his eye sockets. But
seems like that would cause some damage.
Well, I don't know. It's almost like, because there were like sucker things around the eyes, which is like why they really looked like that thing out of Rick and Morty. So maybe they just like hit the eyes and then suck memories.
Huh.
It's magic.
Mm-hmm. It is magic.
Yeah, he doesn't go blind, at least from it. Okay, so she says, don't go home, you're going to die. And he freaks out because tentacles, and he runs off. I wrote, men just won't listen to women. Come on, man. She's been a good girlfriend. Just because she has some tentacles. See, I feel like I'd be more understanding.
I would be frightened and probably run away. I mean, that was an experience.
True. We don't know what it felt like.
I'm sure it wasn't good.
Yeah. Later, Mom comes home. Ji-Ah's sitting in this other room alone crying, and Mom actually comforts her.
She actually seems to care.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just the fact that there were tears. Like, you can see now that she's not emotionless like you thought she was. Yeah. She's like, well, I guess this creature that's in my daughter's body has some feelings after all. Right. And so, for the last scene, We don't see any more Tick. He's out of there. He goes home, I guess. We get a scene that starts with a voiceover of Judy Garland giving an interview, being unhappy about how she's being maligned in the press, how everyone has something to say about her, but it's all like not true. It's just gossip nonsense. So while that's playing, they're walking up this hill. They're in a very beautiful countryside. But where they've gone is back to the Mudang, the shaman.
Right.
And there's this very cool looking, but very CGI looking fox watching them.
Yeah.
He's cute.
Why didn't they just put a real fox?
I don't know.
I'm sure National Geographic would have been like, yeah.
Is that where you get a fox?
Yeah.
Go to the Nat Geo headquarters.
We have a fox.
Need to check out one fox please.
Snippet.
Here's my
just
card.
Put a meme in.
So the fox is watching them, and Mom says... They don't say what Mom's looking for. I mean, I guess to get the demon out of her daughter, but without any more murder. Mom says, I will bear the cost for my daughter, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
And all Ji-Ah wants to know is, what's going to happen to Tick? Is he really going to die? And the lady's like, you stopped at 99 souls? What the fuck? But she says, your mortal concerns are meaningless. And then she lights a piece of paper on fire and gets a vision out of it or something. I don't know. But the last line of the episode is, quote, you have not even become one with the darkness yet. You will see countless deaths before your journey is done. And then the episode's over. So
one with the darkness.
My theory
darkness
on that,
doesn't necessarily have to be bad.
I like being in the dark. Maybe that's why I'm into tentacles. But I just wonder, like, Ji-Ah's already killed 99 people, which is obviously not countless, but...
She said you will see countless deaths, or you will kill many more.
She says you will see countless deaths before your journey is done.
So maybe she's just going to see many more deaths.
Maybe. But I was wondering, so Ji-Ah's there to ask a question about Atticus. And I feel like the answer to that question might be what that lady said. Like, her information has nothing to do with Ji-Ah at all. I feel like what she said was probably Atticus. Atticus has not yet become one with the darkness. Because he's trying to decipher those pages, thinking that he can use this magic for good. To protect people instead of hurting people. And being greedy and amassing wealth and power and all that stuff. All he wants to do is protect.
Huh.
And then you will see countless deaths before your journey is done. Well, I mean, they've started. There's been lots of deaths already. Just the sons of Adam and the two-spirit lady. But there could be a lot more coming. I'm sure there is. You will see countless deaths before your journey is done.
Yeah.
Yep. If he... Lovecraftian lore would say that if he actually gets into this magic, it's going to destroy him eventually.
Black magic.
Yeah. It's not
Adam magic.
Like, this lady has magic, but she's like super old now, and she obviously knows what she's doing, and it's not destructive magic. It's spirit magic. But Lovecraft magic, Cthulhu magic, whatever it is going to turn out to be, that is bad magic. It's going to corrupt your soul.
Well, it does dive you into madness.
And drive you into madness. Yep.
I think I said dive. I meant drive.
I think you did, but that's okay. I wasn't going to say anything. And that was the episode. So
much.
It was jam-packed with information, and then the subtitles weren't helping because I'm trying to take notes, and I know I'm missing little bits here and there, but I think you helped me fill in the blanks. But wow, just a lot of exposition.
Yes.
And ultimately, it's all about what happens next for Atticus, right? And will Ji-Ah go to America? Will she try to save him with her tentacles?
Maybe.
That'd be cool.
I hope so. How is she going to get there? She doesn't have any money.
What if she turned into a full-on fox monster? Like, she just sheds her skin, and it looks like something out of, like, Five Nights at Freddy's, but with 9 tentacle tails.
Huh.
That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know about that.
No? All right. But you know, if you're fighting against Shoggoths and stuff, it might be
tentacles
nice to
help, right?
You got
9 Shoggoths around you. You can fight them all at once.
Mm-hmm. Tentacles are very strong.
It's his tail. It's not a tentacle.
Damn it, tail. The tails are very strong.
I'm sure that it's going to be fluffy and beautiful when it comes out.
Well, she just needs like a wash and a blow dry or anything.
All right.
It's been a long time.
Blowout.
Yep. So the next episode, which by the time you're listening to this is probably just about ready to go live, is going to be, it looks like Ruby and Hippolyta.
Hippolyta is going to travel time, although we've seen that preview before, so maybe not.
It looks like she definitely figures out the orrery. Thank you. She definitely figures out how to make the orrery work.
Right.
It looks like she goes on some trips.
Mm.
And that big planet or sun thing in the middle at the top of the orrery, that thing fucking opened up.
Right. Just like Pac-Man's head.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, you're such a nerd. That's why I love you. It's not the tentacles.
Okay.
Okay, well, that's enough. If we missed anything, tell us. You can find me on Twitter at Pot of Thrones or Jeff at potofthrones.com.
Jennifer at potofthrones.com or at Kid Free Weekend on Twitter.
Yay!
Yay.
All right, and now either goodbye or
see you later.
A little bit of J Sarge music.
Oh.
We'll see what happens.
Okay, I thought you were saying goodbye or see you later.
So don't turn it off. Just let this play to the end. It's either going to be 3 more seconds or maybe a minute. Something like that. Okay, here we go. Shoggoth.
I don't like that.